everyone, and welcome back to While You Were Cleaning. Today I have another furniture DIY to share with you all. Earlier this week I shared with you the DIY for the padded headboard that we made for our bedroom. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the DIY for two hanging side tables or end tables, also for our bedroom. At the end of this video I will show you all of those different furniture pieces in place in our bedroom so that you can see what they look like all finished. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you do, please hit that like button, please comment and subscribe, and let's go ahead and get started. To make my tables, I'm going to be using these 15-inch round panels. I picked these up at a hardware store called Menards. They were about $6 each. I'm going to be staining my tables with this Minwax brand stain in the color Dark Walnut. I prefer to use a rag for staining, so I just covered my tables with this dark walnut stain, and then after the stain sat for just a little bit, I came back and I wiped off the excess stain with another rag. I think painting these tables would also look really nice depending on the space that you're going to be using them in. I just really love the wood grain of these boards and I wanted it to show through. Staining isn't quite as easy to mess up as painting is, so I did go ahead and stain the underside of the tables as well, and then I just propped them upright so that both sides could dry. And I'm just showing you staining one of the round pieces. I did stain both of them in the same way. You'll want to let these sit and dry for at least 8 hours before adding any sort of finishing coat on them. Here I'm showing you after they have dried for about 12 hours. You can choose to put a poly coat on these. I chose instead to use this Rust-Oleum clear spray paint. This is a gloss finish which works really well to protect surfaces. I decided just to spray paint the top side of my boards and the edges. I added about 3 thin coats of spray paint, letting them dry in between coats. Next, I found the center of my board by lining up my ruler to both of the outside edges. The center was at 6 inches, and then along that center line, I marked 1 inch in from the outside of my board. These steps are a little bit hard to explain, but hopefully you'll be able to figure it out by seeing it. I started my ruler at that mark that I made 1 inch in from the outside edge. Then I measured up 10 inches. It's a little bit easier to put the 10-inch measurement on that mark, and then that way you have a clear corner at the top here. You're going to measure 10 inches up and then 1 inch in from the outside edge, and you're going to repeat this on both sides, making a mark where the two rulers meet. I'm going to use these 1 5/8 inch eyelet hooks from the hardware store. Next, we chose a drill bit that was a little bit smaller than the eyelet hooks. And then we pre-drilled holes on our 3 pencil marks. Only drill holes on the outside edge pencil marks that you made, not that middle one. That was to find the center. Now we can screw those eyelet hooks in place in these 3 holes. To hang both of my tables, I'm going to be using this clothesline rope from the hardware store. The length that you're going to cut this rope to is going to depend on your own space. Just leave yourself about 24 extra inches for tying knots. I cut 6 equal lengths of rope and then just used regular knots to tie 1 piece of rope to each of the eyelet hooks. Next, I cut off any excess rope, just leaving about a 1/2 inch sticking through the knot. You're going to tie the knot at the top of your table in the same way, this time gathering all 3 of the ropes together and then tying in a knot. You may have to redo this knot a few times when hanging your table to adjust it for the height or to make the table level. We used anchors and these large hooks to hang our tables from the ceiling. And here the tables are all finished. I really love the way that these turned out. You can easily adjust the style of this table by using different rope or chain or wire, or even feeding the rope all the way through the table and tying a knot below. And as I promised before, here are all of the finished pieces together, the headboard in its place, and then the 2 tables. I also added some pendant lights that I picked up on clearance in the Target Dollar Spot last year. They had them out with the back to school items, so once those items went on sale, I was able to get them for a cheaper price. If you haven't yet seen my headboard DIY video, make sure you go check that out. I will link it at the end of the video. I really love the way that this headboard turned out. I hope these furniture DIYs have given you some ideas for affordable furniture in your own home. Thank you all so much for joining me for today's video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!